Welcome to the Late HP Show with your favorite 5D mystic, enlightenment, functional adult. And on that note, today we're going to talk a little bit about this and that, but I also have some channeled guidance. I have some lovely Gateway of Light Activation Oracle cards that I pulled. Kyle Gray is the designer or the basically the creator of the tarot. And I actually don't enjoy reading while I need to look at the screen. That's why I do the audio versions with more channeled guidance. But on that note, before I share the gist of it and maybe show you some of the cards, those who think of us as woo-woo, pseudoscience, leave them be. It's great to know that the actual individuals who use their integration of the brain, so the optimized human being version, don't insult anyone, because that's what it means when you're a healthy self-worth person. You don't go about your business being rigid or chaotic, because your brain actually is flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable. But some got to have this determined healthy self-worth because we got secure attachment. So we're a pacha our entire lives, so we have meta-awareness. Now, 4D mystics think that our clairs make us special, and they don't look into neuroscience or somatics or trauma therapy information, none of what makes us human. They are busy being with the stars and being anointed and special, which the first moment of my clairs being active, I was like, that sounds very egoic and like it's from a different timeline. So when things are taken out of context, a piece of consistently expanding consciousness, all of us with the whole self have a expansion of consciousness journey. Because we intuitively know we're a verb. Like our heart here stays whole. It's a whole 3-year-old heart. No shame, no defectiveness button. And that's really torture for those who have it, until they go to good trauma therapy and with good therapists. So a Daniel Siegel, Peter Levine's no longer practicing, I believe, but he has plenty of information out there. Basil van der Kolk, I'm not sure if he's still, but he's great. Janina Fisher, I'd say my lovely Albert Wong from Somatopia, and Sue Martin, but I don't know, again, if they're practicing or not. But Patrick Tiahan has a great community for childhood trauma survivors to create awareness and also to support those who want to heal, become their adults, their adult self, so pachas. And essentially those who don't, they get to go and hang out with the 4D and 3D, which again, nobody's going to go around telling them anything except for, we hope you can find the access to your heart, because your heart is connected through the right mode of your brain. And if you don't have bilateral communication, and so integration of the brain, therefore, the ability to be in your prefrontal cortex, the present, your past, your inner child, and all of that which came will keep following you. No matter how much yoga you do, if you're a spiritual bypasser, I've seen them on podcasts and elsewhere talking about demons and devils and making fun of the communities of those who do come together as mystics, which I know many of. They're awesome. Could they expand their consciousness? Yes, but they're too busy making sure to remember all of their past memories as Atlanteans or as Lemurians or as whatever angelic being they will have connected the dots as sensations, images, affects came up. The meaning is, wow, my multi-dimensional being is who I actually am. And so they actually start to dress up. And here's where, when you don't have a whole self, and therefore healthy self-worth, and the ability therefore to regulate your right and left mode together, your nervous system. So to be able to say, wow, I really like the idea that I have remembered through, whether it's astral travel or downloading your own past lives. I know all about it. It's not really downloading. It's more like, oh, look, like it's like a movie screen, the behind the scenes. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. I think I saw, I don't even know, I couldn't count if it was 20, 50 with one human being that I know from this lifetime, then another 20, 50, I'm not sure, because it was literally like a little clips of film. And I remembered when Sadhguru spoke about this, your life flashing before your eyes as you're dying, but I think he was talking about this lifetime. So The one thing that I do know how to share is our lovely Sadhguru to me is the spirituality guru. And as today's quote was, it's true, religious institutions, they divide. Religions divide. Spiritual process brings all together. That's because we're all pachas. So we shake hands and we mean it. That's because we have the conditional of kindness and compassion. Compassion wanted to come out of my mouth, but yeah, we don't have conditions. We know no human is heartless. So we do find ourselves in a very interesting situation. It's been quite many years. I am 44 and I'm like, wow, I grew up and didn't think I'd be here channeling. I love what I see though. I can say that it's beautiful, beautiful. So behind the scenes, we have a group of human suffering, love narrative individuals, 4D, 3D. Well, let's just say that for sure this year they're going to learn something, and it will either be to become a Cusco with a Pacha, or they're just going to have Cusco leading them, and that's where that stands. But they are expanding their heart chakra, and hopefully they'll find the ability to have healthy self-worth. So their solar plexus is what there's in the picture. Meantime, I was trying to get something more important than that, but yeah, we got a group of people that are going to be Cuscos with a Pacha, hopefully. We don't know if they'll move into Pacha land, though, from the Emperor's New Groove. So integration of brain is a journey with a good therapist for those who have had childhood trauma. It's very important, and that journey can last 6, 7 years, 10, we don't know. But the point is, if you did choose yourself, if you're choosing yourself the way that these cards show, and again, the shame cycle is not straightforward for people who have been determined with not secure attachment, and or even if they have secure attachment, somewhere down the path of their growing up, they got to feel shame and defective, and they're continuing with their inner child and imposter syndrome and not knowing how to live the love and flow of a life because they haven't come across childhood trauma expert and survivor and therapist Patrick Tian. He has a great 1-minute short today on imposter syndrome. I loved it. He said how the good enough was taken away from those poor children, and all children who are right now children who won't be able to know good enough is good enough and you're doing awesome. Yes, there's ways you can perfect, but knowing and recognizing that you're doing great from here, that's very important. Not from here, not from here. Your left mode, it's just blah, blah, blah. The right mode is what you want to understand. Sensations, images, affects, meanings, and behaviors. They all come up here, and actually your chit-chatter, you want to silence that because you got your top down by the age of 2, which means whoever was around you gave you the words to say, this is what my feelings mean. This is what suppression of it, they definitely, if you were lied to, which is what happens with childhood trauma, then you lied to yourself about your worthiness. So healthy self-worth is when a person knows I'm meant to be lovingly accepted exactly as I am, with my flaws and imperfections. I will not work for love. Love is free because my ventral vagal nervous system, soothe system, is when you're free to love inside here, with or without yoga. And 3, all these emotions are valid. I will express them, but of course I will respect those who cannot handle that I get passionate and fiery and whatever it is. I will not suppress it though. And that's what grown-ups do. So the grown-ups, 5D, functional adults, we have the ability, with or without yoga, to be able to know, like Pacha, no person is heartless, and the future will be okay if we get all of our hands on deck, versus compare the past and what we think should be in the present versus accepting that we grew to 8 billion plus and it's okay. We don't need to be judging the human species. Anyone, are you not remembering that you are human? Consciousness lives through you, and the only way you're going to connect to pure consciousness is Purusha, unconditional love, Prakriti, pure energy. That's an embodied brain with a integration of the brain, left and right mode communicating, and that nervous system not being in your defense mode. Which, again, there's a lot of Pachas out there, and there's also a lot of Cuscos out there. And when we meet Cuscos, though, they're not they don't have that right mode, left mode communication. So we want to support them to learn how to look in our eyes and know that we're present, you're unconditionally loved, we're unconditionally loved, let's be authentic and transparent versus, create stories, too many stories. Let's create the story, the human love narrative. And I didn't get the chance to show you the cards. I might do a take 2, but share the love, be compassionate. We don't know what anybody has been through. What we do know is when you have secure attachment people, you have a conversation, not an accusation. No shame, no blame, no fault, no revenge. We only have one thing. It's called love, like Pacha, and handshakes that mean it.